All right, how's it going, guys? So anyways, I just wanted to kind of make this video to kind of give you guys an update and show you some of the progress that I've made on the map. I say I, but in reality there's been several people helping me, and I want to just kind of say thank you to them first before we get going. For those of you that don't know me, I am not some crazy modder guy that's experienced and knows what he's doing. This was kind of a labor of love. I love playing farm sim, but I just don't like the maps because I'm one of those people that I like things to be as realistic as possible, and if it's going to be a simulator, it should be simulating real life. And I just find so many farm sim maps to be like arcade-like maps, and it just, to me, that ruins the whole thing. I mean, you could have the most realistic tractor or the piece of equipment, but when you're driving around a land that looks like it's from Mario or something, it doesn't work for me. So back in 2015, I started working on this map, and was going to release it for 15, and some things happened, and long story short, here we are. But it's very, very close now, and that's because I've had some people helping me, and I've also learned a lot along the way, and I've gotten better at some things, and so that too. But I'm not going to name names right now because it's too early for that. I will definitely give credits to the people that have helped me in this map. So please don't, if you're watching this, don't take offense to that. But there have been some people that have offered help and have been putting out on Facebook that they're helping and that they're doing all this stuff, and in reality, I haven't seen one thing from them. So it's kind of one of those things. I mean, we all know how the farm sim community is. I guess I don't understand it sometimes, why people are so childish. If you don't want to help me, that's fine. I'm not gonna hold it against you, but don't tell the world that you're helping me and when you really haven't. So, and with that said, there are some other people that have helped me tremendously and have done a lot of work on their own on the map and fixed some things, and so they definitely deserve the credit. So anyways, thank you guys for watching and following and giving me compliments on the first release. I know there were some issues with it, and we're getting there. So anyways, without further ado, the reason I wanted to start on this screen is I wanted to show you guys, there's a lot of people that are complaining, saying, oh, this game, it takes too much to load, and yada yada yada. And I just wanted to show you that the loading time on a new on a saved game with mods installed, this is also running seasons, so it will take a little longer than a fresh start game would take to load. But the other thing that I wanted to show you guys is that on my computer, at least, and I can only talk about my computer, the load times, especially if you had mods and save game type situation like this, you could be anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. And I have a decent computer. It's not by any means the best of the best. It's like a mid-level gaming rig from Best Buy, an Asus computer. I don't even know, honestly. I'm not a gamer, guys. I don't know the details of the inside. I just know I went to Best Buy and said, hey, I want to play some games, and this is what they hooked me up with. And I've been rather impressed, but what I'm getting at is it's not a $5,000 crazy gaming computer or anything. So most people with decent gaming machines should be able to run this without a problem. People with low-end computers, you may have some FPS drops and things, but hopefully we'll release some other versions, and I'll talk about that as we go. I don't want to keep you guys staring at the screen being bored. So anyways, let's just see how long it takes to load. And again, this is the first time I've tried seasons with this save game, and so it's going to change some things, but I just wanted to show you guys what it takes. So here we go. So here's all the mods we're going to be running today. Quite a few, just to give you an idea. And let's go ahead and hit start. And again, also guys, I am on maxed out settings here for my computer, so this isn't running it on low quality or anything. So this is going to hang up a little bit here because we're loading some of these mods. But normally it wouldn't do this. On a fresh new game, I've got this down now to about 8 seconds where it starts right away. So there you go. It didn't take us too long. So let's go ahead and start. Like I said, we are running Seasons mod, and it looks like we have a nice foggy day here, which is going to not be the greatest for my video, I guess, today. But well, let's see how it works. So anyways, the reason I wanted to show you this, or make this video today, is to talk about the difference in silos that we're going to be using. And on my map, I want it to be as realistic as possible. So you're not going to see these big giant grain bin complex setups. You know, in the real world, in Iowa where this map takes place, you don't see those big giant bin complexes on a small family farm like this. You're going to see, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know, smaller grain bins like these. And so I wanted to make this map as realistic as possible. That's my goal. And so I'm going to be using everything that I can to make it as realistic. So with that said, the trigger systems are going to be a little different for these, and you're going to have to use augers. And some people are going to hate that, and if so, then you can change it and put a big giant bin complex right here. I don't care. But for my version that I released, it's going to be realistic. You're going to need augers to use these bins. And so I have really not tried it a whole lot, and I wanted to make this video to show you guys that how it's going to work, and also walk through some of you, because some people have no clue how to even use these augers, and you know, so some of you are going to be bored, and if you know how to use all this stuff, you may as well just skip ahead to the video or whatever. But I'm going to show some people how to use it and set it up, and then also show you some changes that I've made in the video, or in the map so far. So right off the bat, I do want to show you one thing, guys. The map, I have updated all of the doors, and by the way, this farm is a new farm. You haven't seen this one yet. This was an empty spot on the map that was going to be filled in, and this farm is not complete yet. It's about 80% complete, but there'll be some more changes to it. But anyways, all of the buildings now have door scripts that work. No longer will hit 0. Let me open the HUD here and I'll show you. Everything's going to be mouse control. Some doors you click once and it opens, other doors you're going to have to hold. Like for instance, these doors, you're just going to click it and the same button opens and closes. So that's going to open regular doors. Now like a sliding door like this, you're going to have to hold it down and it's going to show you up there open or close. And the cool thing about this, and I know some people are not going to be that impressed with this, but this took me like 2 days to figure this out, guys. Again, I am not a modder. I am a guy that's just trying to build a realistic map, and I'm having to learn all this stuff as I go. And so this was a big a thing for me. So anyways, you can hold down the mouse, and as soon as you let go, the doors are going to stop moving. So if you only want to open it a crack and go in, then so be it. If you want to close, you can hit the right control. I do have one little trick here that'll make this easier for you guys. You're like, oh my god, I'm about to sit here and hold this. No, not really. If you hold down the mouse button and then walk out of the trigger, so you know, just back up a little ways and then let go, it's going to continue to open. So I'm holding it down, and I'm walking over a tractor, and now I'm letting go, and as you see, the door is still opening. So if you're lazy and you want to walk to the tractor while the door is opening, you can do that. Just to kind of give you guys some tips. So all the doors again are going to open this way in the map, or at least all the doors that are in buildings that you need to open. So all right, let's quit wasting time. Let's figure out this silo system, because it's going to take a little while to get set up. So also one thing I did want to show you guys, as I just said, let's hurry up. The FPS on this, I have a lot of really high detailed trucks parked in some of these garages right now. As you can see, it's dropping us down into 30s, but this is also with the Seasons mod. Now, I've noticed one thing with Giants: the longer you play on a map, especially if you were to like drive around the map first, and it loads all those texture files, it seems to increase your FPS. So the longer you're around this stuff, the higher it gets. But just so you guys are aware, I want to be honest with you, and see, we just dropped down way down there. We're running about high 30s and 40s. Now for some people that's horrible, but for me to be running a game on high settings, you know, 40 and 50 is fine with me. It doesn't get choppy or anything. I'm able to control everything and whatnot. So I was going to actually fill these up with the combine, but I forgot with the Seasons mod, it's going to reset all my fields, and so I have nothing to harvest. So in sake of showing you this, we're going to load this up first with some sort of grain, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to dump it if you've just harvested this. Now, again, these bins are not set up for big giant pieces of machinery. You're going to have to use the proper equipment here. So, got it under here. Let's go ahead and start filling. We're going to hit R, and let's see what we've got a lot of. We've got a lot of canola, so we'll go ahead and just fill it, just for the sake of showing you. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but I want to actually show you guys how this works. So we'll go park this thing out of the way, as if it's out in the field getting filled up from a combine. There's one of the augers here parked, and here's another auger that you're going to need. And I will, when this map is released, I will link all this stuff, or possibly if I can get permissions, I'll go ahead and attach these to the mod if the creators will allow me to. But these are all public releases, and if they're not, I apologize, but they are all out on the web to get, so I'm sure everybody has them by now. You know, so here they are. This is the big auger to get up to the door, and then this would be to you know, fill up the bottom augers here onto like a semi or whatever you want to load it into. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get that thing and leave it here, and get some better equipment out to move. Actually, I tell you what, we're gonna. I forgot I have manual attach, so we're gonna use this tractor to go ahead and move that big auger, and somehow this must be a bug with this tractor here. I've got the IC going. There we go. Okay. Sorry, guys. I need some lights and all this fog. So we're going to go ahead and get this big auger hooked up. Now, obviously, you're only going to need this during harvest. The rest of the time, you're going to use the smaller auger. But to get the grain into these big bins, we're going to need to use this thing. So again, I've got manual attach mod going, so I've got to get out of the tractor to do that. And this is a beast of an auger, so it is kind of tight to get around in these small farms. And that is something that I've thought of after the fact. The way that I designed this farm, this might not work on this big silo or bin over here with this auger. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt, kind of gets in the way. So anyways, we're going to need to back this thing up to the bin, to the door at the top, to where we'll get, that's where the trigger set up to take the grain. So I'll do some vacuum here, and obviously I know where the door is, so it's a little easier for me. But let's go ahead and lift this up. We're going to use the mouse to lift it, and that's as high as we can go with this thing. So let's see if I can do this. I'm using the keyboard, which I'm not really used to, so. And look at that. Perfect. That little circle on the top is the door. And guys, you don't need to be this precise. I mean, the trigger's bigger than that little hole. But sorry, I like to be realistic. So anyways, we've got it now set up. Now I need to drop this basket down to be able to fill. So we're also going to use some keyboard and mouse controls here. And I'm not going to walk you guys through exactly how to use this thing, but you can figure it out on your own. So we're going to lower this down, get it on the ground here. And I love how that light is right there. It's obviously was designed that way, but makes it nice. I have noticed that sometimes this auger can get a little glitchy if you set it down on the ground. Sometimes your arm up here will start slowly moving one way or the other, so I tend to try to leave it off the ground just a hair, and then I'll level that thing out. Alright, so we can turn this thing off for now. Now, you will need to have your tractor running. There's no PTO. I don't think there is on this. Oh, there is. Never mind. So we need to get that hooked up. So now let's go ahead and go back to our. That's not going to work, is it? I just thought, just thought of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a truck out. We'll move that. Again, all these doors open. This door's a little finicky sometimes, but gotta open the garage. One of the things that I did do, guys, while we're here, I'll go ahead and tell you about it. This is going to piss some people off, but I really don't care. Again, realism is my key here. I don't want to be able to open a garage door from here. That's not realistic. So you're going to have to go to the garage door to open it. And as you can see, if I open the HUD over here, I can't open it. I got to get by this button here, and then I can click it, and we're going to have a garage door. Hey, the sun. Oh, never mind. I thought the sun was coming up. Guess not. Alright, so let's get in this truck. I really like this truck. I don't remember who released it, but it is out. I am not used to steering, though. It kind of screws me up sometimes. It's like the wheels don't turn back as quickly as I'm used to. So, this thing's set up. Alright, so, and I'm going to actually have to turn all the way around, because again, like I was telling you guys, that bin placement kind of sucks with that big giant auger there. Kind of hard to get around. So again, small machines, you're not going to get in here with a, well, I guess you could with like a 48-foot, you know, semi-trailer, but would not be fun to back it all the way up there. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing lined up for the trailer. Again, I am not used to this truck steering, and I'm using a keyboard, so let's see how well we can do this here. And you gotta be careful, you don't want to back up too far or you'll hit that arm and knock your auger completely out of the way. So, alrighty, open the hood here, and we want to change our tip side to the grain door. Now let me show you guys how this works. So, for those that don't know, I'm gonna have to get back in the tractor and turn this thing on. And you'll notice that it says pipe out. Now, this pipe doesn't actually move. This is just the way that the creator got it to understand that it was this kind of putting it into work mode. So I'm going to go ahead and put the pipe out, and you're going to see now it says unload here. So we're good to go. We're going to leave our engine running. Now I'm not sure if this will work with the setting on Giants. If you go to your main map or your options thing here, automatic engine start, I always use it. I always have it off, and actually I have a mod right now that's forcing it to be off. But I'm not sure if this auger will work without that setting on, so you may have to turn that on if you don't, because this engine has to be running to power that auger. Okay, so now we can get back in this truck, and we're going to unload. And just to make sure this is working, you're going to hear the trailer unload, and then you're also going to hear, I can't zoom out far enough, but you're going to hear, oh, right there I can, you're going to hear the grain start to come out right next to our heads here. And actually, I'm going to do something real quick. So we can get rid of that. Okay, so we're going to start unloading, and now you can hear that second sound. That's the auger working. So we know that the silo is filling. Another way that we can check that is to go back to our farm silo here, and we had taken all of the canola out, and I don't remember which one's canola, but whatever, it's there now. So either way, guys. Alright, so that's how you would unload your harvest when you bring it in from the combine. That's how you're going to load it into the bins. And so let's go ahead and get rid of this truck, get it out of here for now. We're just going to park it over here out of the way. And now we got to move our auger out of the way so that we can, so I can show you how to unload. We already showed you that this one works, right, guys? So, you know, I'm not going to show you that again, but you guys do know that it works. All right, so I'm going to fold this back in. Oops. And I've also got a unbutton. I'm not used to this auger. Lift that thing out of the way. Go ahead and move the auger out a little bit to where it clears, and then we can go ahead and lower it. This thing is kind of top heavy. If you try driving around with it up, you tip over, and then it tips your tractor over, and it's just not a fun day. So, anyways, get this thing moved over, and again, this thing is a beast to try to drive around this small farm here. So hopefully you guys like the setups that I've used for these farms. I try to use kind of some real-world locations to help me with my inspiration, I guess you can say. But I like the smaller farms. So anyways, it's going to work there. So and drop it. Okay, and I'm going to park this thing get out of our way here. Now, I just started playing on this newer farm, so I don't have everything set up the way that I normally would. I just kind of have tractors randomly parked, but out of this thing. So now I want to show you guys what we would have to do if we need to get auger, or we need to get grain out of this auger, and let's say we're going to put it in a semi. And actually that's what I'll do, because I'll show you guys the sell points that I have set up now too. It's going to be kind of a longer video. We're going to be driving around the map here once we get done. So I'll move this guy. Okay, so now we're going to need to get that. Oh, there. See, there's that steering I was talking about. It's crazy. So now we're going to have to get this auger. And I do not know how to pronounce this thing. I'm sorry if the creator's watching this, but it is a Sakangiak. I don't know. Small auger, that's what I like to call it. Now, this auger, you'll notice that where the hitch hooks up to the truck, that's actually the end of the auger that you need facing your auger on the bin. And I'm sorry guys, I don't know what it's called, so what the bin auger is called, so I'm just calling it an auger, but there's probably an official name for it. You farmer guys, you can let me know. But alright, so what I like to do is just kind of nose it in there. And the beautiful thing with this mod is that you can actually move it. Get this thing out of the way. So this will actually operate as a vehicle if you walk up to it. It won't show up when you're tabbing through your vehicles. It won't go into it, but we can actually move it. So I'm going to move those arms out of the way, and then I'm going to move it over to my auger. Now I'm going to set this up a very specific way, because I want to make it easy for my grain truck to get in here. Alright. Now I'll open the HUD just so you guys can see this. It's not there, which is weird. Well, it doesn't show up on the HUD, it usually does. But B will put the little hopper on the end there. So the goal is to get that hopper lined up with the spout, this auger. And now we gotta lower this guy back down, and you'll know you're in the right spot. See up there it says start filling? You'll know you're in the right spot when that says start filling. Now, I need to raise this thing quite a bit to get this thing to hit my truck. So it's still saying start filling, so we're good to go. So we'll turn that off for now. Let's go get our truck, and I'm also going to show you guys these doors while we're at it, because we're going to have to move one of the doors to get this truck out. So again, Realism, I borrowed this door from another mod that is released publicly. It came off of a building, and this is awesome. The guy that did this, like, I mean, I can't thank him enough, because for someone like me that loves the realism aspect, this door is just phenomenal. So I was able to move it, and I did change it a little bit. The mod, there's no windows, and it's just one color, and so I added the dual color in the windows in. But you guys will see how this works. It's awesome if you haven't seen it yet. So again, you're gonna have to be next to the button to work this, and if you hold the mouse down, it's gonna lift your entire wall, and the arms work. It's kind of cool. It's hard to see with this fog, but they're really neat looking in the sun. Again, if I let go of the mouse, it's going to stop the door. So you can, you know, raise this up to wherever level you want. And again, that same trick. If I hold it down and then walk out of the trigger, I'm now let go of the mouse, and the door is going to automatically go up on its own. So let's go ahead and get this truck, and we'll pull it over to that other auger so I can clear that building. Now that's not the computer glitching out or anything, that's just the way that I press the gas, because I'm trying not to go too fast. So I'm using this keyboard, so I'm just going to tap on the gas here. But so we'll go ahead and back this thing up. Under this auger here. Alrighty, and you'll know again if I open the hood back up. Actually, no, you won't know yet, because I was going to say it'll show start filling, but it actually won't. So we're going to have to come back into here and see where it says start filling. So we are going to hit R. That's going to bring up our canola, which we just filled. If I hit start, it's only going to fill the hopper for a second, and I'll show you why it does this. Now I'm going to have to jump. Oop, where'd the truck go? I'll have to jump back in the truck. And no, I'm not. Sorry. Jump back in this thing, and again, the HUD for some reason is not showing it. But I have to do the pipe out, which is O. And once the pipe is out, it'll go ahead and start filling. So if I would have done pipe out first and then hit R for start filling, they would have just continually filled. So let's go ahead and hit R now. It's going to restart this. But now it should just go all the way through until we're full. And it stopped because we're out of canola, because we only had that little bit. So anyways, hopefully that helps you guys understand how this is going to work on this map. Again, I wanted to go for realism and show you guys how that works. Again, thank you guys for watching. I am going to drive around the map and show you guys some of the sell points, so I don't expect you guys to all hang out and watch, but if you want to, cool. If not, you know, hopefully now you know how to do that. So I'm going to get rid of my HUD here because it drives me nuts. This truck, by the way, is amazing. I think, if I understand correctly, the creator didn't want it released, and then it got leaked, and then after it was leaked, he kind of was like, alright, whatever. But I so wish there was more mods like this. I mean, this thing, it's the nicest mod that I have gotten to play with, and I'm sure there's more mods out there that are better, but this thing is sweet. So there's some more additions to the map. There's a pig area up there, just to show you guys. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you is, hey, check out the PDA. It actually works now, and that was one of those guys I was talking about at the beginning that helped. This was all because of him. If he wouldn't have done this, I would have been lost. So he got the HUD working. You can actually zoom out on the big map here. You can zoom out, zoom in, scrolling the mouse wheel, but it will keep you right on the map, or right on where you're at on the map. So anyways, another addition. I have not completed the signs, but as you can see, we do now have signs, and some people are gonna make fun of me for this, but every street on this map has a name, and these street signs are all legit. I mean, technically, if you got to know these streets, you would be able to find your way around. And I did that for several reasons, because this map is so big, it's hard to find your way around, but also for the realism aspect of it. So we're going to head out to the main highway here. I wish this fog would clear. It's going to get kind of annoying. I can't show you guys the map, and I don't want to use these settings to do it. So, but we'll go ahead and get out to this main highway. God, this truck and this trailer just look so sick together. Here's some more bins that I have set up for this farm. And again, going off of the real area of Iowa that these are in, this is how these farms are. They just kind of have these bins set up wherever they can fit them. And so here's some more bins for this same farm that we're just leaving. And all the farms will be like this. They'll have multiple places to access your silos. Again, there's some of those signs that I'm working on for my US street sign pack that I'll be releasing when the map gets released. On the final version, I will release my sign pack to everybody so they can use them to make some more awesome realistic maps. So again, as you guys can see, street signs are now different, and we're at a different intersection. And we're going to go down into McGregor, Iowa. Just a funny note while we're at it, while we're on this long drive together. So the map is actually backwards, and like right now in real life we would be heading east, but on the map we're actually heading west, and for the life of me I can't figure out how to change it, and everybody I've talked to cannot figure out how to change it. So if you're an amazing mapper and you're watching this, please help me, because the sun on this map sets in the east and rises in the west, and the map is actually upside down. So if I can't figure it out, I can't figure it out, but oh well. I don't want someone to criticize me later and be like, hey, Iowa's backwards. Sorry guys. Next map I'll make sure the first thing I do is make sure the sun is in the right spot before I start changing things. So this fog is a monster right now, but it is good. As you can see, I mean, we're still running very smooth, even with the fog and everything. So I mean, the map is definitely more optimized now and working better. So we're gonna get down in here into town, and I'm gonna show you guys some of the sell points real quick. Oh, I forgot that this bridge is actually out right now. This is actually a joke between Phoenix, if you know him. He made a video, and there's actually a hole up there in the bridge that your truck tires will fall through. So I staged those signs to take a picture and make kind of just as a wise crack to him, and I forgot to take them out. So we're not going to be able to get by that because those are all collision. So as you notice, the sidewalks are still kind of glitchy. I've got them to be a little better, but I think I'm going to have to go through and actually replace all of them. So that's going to kind of suck, but I am working on it. These streetlights on the actual full edition or the released edition will work. I have them working, I just don't have the mod in right now, so that's why they're not working. But they will work and cycle. Again, there's those sidewalks glitching out. So for those people watching this that have been criticizing me for that, I am aware of it. I'm trying to fix it. So I'm also trying to fix these railroad crossings. People complain that they're too high. I don't think they really are. In real life, they're not smooth. You don't take them at 50 miles an hour. You take them at 5 miles an hour. So there's the dealership you guys are used to. Here's some new additions. This will be the sell point for livestock. So we'll go ahead and turn in there and show you guys that. So I've got kind of a little stockyard back here, and that's where you will pick up your cows and your horses. So we're about to go on a really long drive, and I don't know if I might skip ahead on this video or not. Oh, here comes that massive railroad crossing again. But I might just leave it in so you guys can see it for those that can't play the map yet and want to see what it's going to look like in its final stages. It's a lot closer now, but we're going to have to go over into Wisconsin so I can get around that bridge closure. So we're going to come back in through here. Burger King has burned down, as you can see. It was causing too many texture issues, so I had to take it out. But it will get replaced. And actually, I just remembered that I do not have any water. We're in an extreme drought this year. The Mississippi has ran dry. Here's some of those new signs I was kind of talking about. If you guys have the released version right now, the beta, these signs are not in it. But they will be on the final one. Here's Wisconsin. So we're coming into Wisconsin, and I have not completed all the signs yet. I'm still working on it. So there's certain places that will have signs that don't right now. Again, more of the signs that I've added to the map, just to add realism. I've had to do all the textures on these signs, and just real quick, because it's my map and I can show you guys. Some people are probably like, wow, you're too picky, blah blah blah, but I mean, this is the realism we're going for, guys. Like, they have bolts and everything, and it's just, I want this map to be as realistic as possible, but still be able to perform, and I think I'm showing you right now that it does perform. I haven't had any spots yet where I've glitched out or froze the computer or anything. So, and I'm recording, and it's still not really taking too much. So, all right, we're gonna keep going down this way, and if the sun was out, you guys would be able to see a nice, pretty view of the river over here, but it's too foggy right now. So this is one of the highway parts of the map where I do have kind of an interstate. It's really not. In real life, this is just a double highway, like it is here, and but it does have some off-ramps and things that you guys will see here in a second. So it is a long drive, and this is a big map. So there's lots of room to explore and have fun. So anyways, hopefully you guys will keep letting me know on Facebook how you guys are liking the map, and those that can play it right now, if you guys can keep letting me know issues that you're finding and things that are wrong. It really is helping me quite a bit, and I don't have the time to actually drive through. This is probably the longest I've been on this map in months. Just here filming this video for you guys, because I'm so focused on being in the editor that I don't really have time to play it. So gonna have to get off here because the road is closed. Which that's the end of the map up there, so just trying to be creative and figuring out a way to make it so it's not just you're running to the end of the map. This keyboard steering is driving me nuts here, so we're going to the bridge. There's some more of those signs, and I'll show you how. Oh, there's one of those railroad tracks that people are complaining about. So again, I am going to be fixing these guys. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So again, some more of those signs for realism. This is also something that I shrunk this bridge up a little bit. I don't think people realized that it was supposed to be this way from the beginning, but the Mississippi does have a lot of these bridges that cross it that are single lane bridges, and that's what this is trying to represent, that you're not going to get two semis coming across here full of grain at the same time. So alright, we're back in Iowa now, so we're going to get back over to McGregor, and you can see those poles are glitching through that sign. I'm going to have to fix that. So we're back in Iowa here. So I've tried to add things like that too, just, you know, abandoned buildings. It's one thing that I think FS is lacking. It has for years. That, I mean, don't get me wrong, all these guys that create these buildings, I wish I could. I've tried Blender and I just suck at it, but you know, if I knew how to make buildings, I'd probably do that all the time. But what I was gonna say is that the one thing I wish we had more of is buildings that are worn and old looking, not all these brand new, you know, really nice buildings, but I want some old, you know, barn doors falling off, and you know, they don't look all squeaky clean like you just built the thing. So I tried to add some older looking buildings in here, and there's a missing sign texture. So anyways, again, just for that realism, trying to go through and make sure that everything. Uh-oh, someone took out my stop sign. So we're getting close to McGregor here again, and I'll be able to show you some more of these sell points. And I actually passed by one on the other side of the river that I completely forgot about in Wisconsin. So we're back in McGregor, and now another one of these treacherous railroad crossings here. Again, I mean, I will fix them, but realism is my focus here, guys. And railroad crossings in this part of the state, or in this part of the country, are not the greatest. You can't hit them at 50 miles an hour. So here's one of my sell points. This is Pioneer Grain, and they will take any and all crops that you grow. So as you can see, it's giving me the unload option. I'm not going to unload it here, but this is where we could if we wanted. Now this other one I'm going to show you actually only takes corn, and it's a lot easier to get into from the other side, but we're going to try this out here. Another thing that I'm trying to represent on this map is that this part of the country, it's an older part of the country, and these roads and buildings and stuff are not necessarily designed for these big trucks, and so, you know, there's tight spots that you have to get into, and this isn't going to be all wide open. So you hear the sounds there. Now this is where they actually load the I can't think of it right now. What the hell is this thing called? The boat, but a barge. There you go. And so this is where they load it with corn. and take it down the Mississippi and go down south. I don't think a lot of people realize, unless they're from this part of the country, but the Mississippi is one of the busiest water highways, you can say, in the world. There's more, grain going down that river than there is on any interstate in America. So a lot of our grain is moved by boats still. So anyways, this is where you load the corn, and just as fun as it is to get in, it's just as much fun to get out. So try to do this without hitting anything here. Now if I would keep going that way, we would go over that bridge again. Ooh, not gonna be able to turn here. My trailer's hanging up. There we go. Alrighty, so now we're gonna have to go back to, we're not going to Wisconsin again, so don't worry about that, but we are going to go back into Iowa quite a ways for this other sale point. And I forgot this thing was here. See guys, I don't even get time to play this map. I was talking to a buddy on Facebook today, and he was talking about how he can't wait to play the map, and how it's going to be the best map, and I'm like, everybody else is going to love it, but I'm already sick of it. So I'm glad you guys will enjoy it, but I probably won't be farming too much on it. I'll probably end up starting a new map here once this thing is released. So we're going to take a gravel road up the bluffs, and these are very common in this part of Iowa. You have to climb these really steep hills to get out of the river valley and get back up into the farmland, and so I tried to recreate those as best as I could, but there's several of these that'll go up the valleys, or whatever you want to call it, and they are steep inclines for these trucks. So, and I took this road also because I can show you guys two more farms on the way to this last sale point. And for those of you that have been playing on the map already, you probably found these two farms. I know it's hard to do without the PDA, but so if I can show people that haven't seen them, they can figure out what they think they're going to be able to do here. This first one is kind of an older style dairy barn, or cow barn, or cow farm. Sorry, not barn, but it's a place for cows, manure, all that good stuff. Here's another thing. I'm going to jump out and show you guys. Again, people are probably like, too much detail, but I made this electrical box for the map. I didn't make the model, someone else did. It was on a European map, but I added the decals to make it more American, and as you can see, there's one up here too. This is the kind of stuff that I'm trying to recreate here. I know some people are like, wow, that's ridiculous, but I want this thing to be as realistic as possible. I don't want to be using European objects if I don't have to, so I'm trying to recreate some things as best I can without having to model anything, because I told you guys I suck at Blender. So we're not going to be doing any of that anytime soon. Some more street signs there, and as you can see on the PDA, we're still working, still following roads, and we've only covered in this video a very, very small portion of this map. I mean, we covered a lot of the river, but we haven't covered much of the farmland at all. This thing is massive. Oop, wrong button. So here's another one of the farms. This is actually, well, I should say was my favorite farm on the map until here recently. I added two new farms that I actually like a lot better, but this was my favorite farm there for a while. So I'm just gonna turn around here and show you guys this other sell point. gonna be down here a little ways, and I will be adding a couple more sell points for not for animals, but for you know, the wool and all that kind of stuff. And eventually I would like to get some other scripts installed on the map for you know, like the sawmill for pallets and boards and all that stuff, and maybe even some mining areas for rock quarries. There's quite a few rock quarries in this area. They take a lot of limestone out of the ground here, so it'd be nice to kind of recreate one of those spots. So we are at Windsor Ethanol now. This is one of the spots that actually came from a map that I was working on back for 2015, and my computer completely lost everything. It was going to be a Colorado map, and it was based out of Windsor, Colorado, and so as you can see, Windsor, Colorado. So this was actually something that I was able to salvage from that map, and I thought it was kind of, for you guys it probably won't matter, you'll be like, why does it say Colorado? But for me, I put a lot of time and effort into that map, and then I lost it all, and so this is my way of being able to recreate it. So I can't remember if I turned these scripts back on. Yep, they are working. So you got to get weighed in before you go in. And also, I'm not sure, I can't remember if this, I need to fix that road. I'm not sure if eventually this will only take corn, this ethanol plant, but I don't know if I have it set up that way or not, so I guess we'll find out. So this is pretty like typical of a big ethanol plant here in Iowa. They have these big entrance ways to get in so that trucks can line up, and again, all for realism. You don't just pull right into a garage and dump your grain. So it is going to let me unload here. I'm going to go ahead and unload. Oh, never mind. I was just going to show you that these weigh station scripts do work, but we're not going to be able to empty it out. So, oh well, you guys will just have to trust me on that. So, come back up to this one, and so there you go, guys. That's the sell points so far, and hopefully you could see a vast improvement. It's only been like a week and a half since I've released the first beta. I'm hoping to have this one released in the next couple days. There will be some things missing from it that you've seen on the video, like the street signs. I'm not going to release the street signs yet until I get the pack all done, and that's more or less just for my sake, because I know people are going to use them, and I'm fine with that. I actually want them to. That's why I made them, and that's why I'm putting so much effort into them. But I don't want people to use them when they're not finished. So, you know, I want to make sure that I get those done first before I put them on any of my maps, because I don't want people to be able to use them yet. So, eventually, the street signs will get added to one of these next releases, and you guys will be able to find your way around. But at least you have the PDA to use for now, so you're not going to get lost. I was watching one YouTuber, I think it was Ragin, I can't remember his name, but Ragin something. He was playing this map, and it was kind of funny to watch him, because he's like, how the hell do I figure out, because the PDA wasn't working, and he's like, I don't have a clue where I'm at, and he was trying to find his way around and having a hell of a time. So hopefully, Ragin, you're watching this, and you can see now that you're going to be able to find your way around the map. So anyways, guys, it's probably a really long video already, and most of you are probably not even watching it anymore, so I'll go ahead and cut it off here at this other new farm. And I'm not going to show you guys everything on this farm, because it's a work in progress, but there you go. We'll see you guys later, and again, thanks for everything, and hopefully I'll have this out in the next couple days.